Hi, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and I have a fun festive project to show you today in time for the holidays. So I'm going to show you how to wire wrap some sea glass triangles to make them look like Christmas trees. I have two examples here. I'm going to show you how to do both styles of wrapping, one where you have it very neat and one where you have it pretty messy. And then I'll show you how to actually finish this earring here. So I'll show you this one from start to finish, but I wanted to show you this example to show you that you could go ahead, you could glue flat backs on here, you could hang beads, you can do a whole bunch of different things. Really let your imagination run wild, but I do want to show you the basic technique of how to wrap these trees. Well, they're not trees, they're triangles, but they're going to be trees. What you're going to need you're going to need some sea glass triangles. They're traditionally held like this because you have the hole at the top and you don't have any type of hole at the bottom. We're going to figure out a way around that, and we're going to turn them upside down like so and turn them into trees. For the wrapping, if you're going to do the neat wrapping, I recommend a 24 gauge wire. I have a red artistic wire here for that. And then if you're going to do the messy wrapping, I actually recommend a 26 gauge wire, and that's why I want to show you how to do both. For the finishing techniques of this design, you're going to need an earring hook, you're going to need a little bead, and you're going to need a head pin. In terms of tools, you'll want to have a ruler, either a round nose plier, or I have wire looping pliers. I really like these, so I'm going to use them. I've got a pair of chain nose, and I've got a pair of cutters. So I'm going to show you how to do the neat wrappings first. So for this, we're going to need 12 inches of 24 gauge wire. And we're going to start by making a wrapped wire loop at the base. To do so, I'm going to move about an inch from the base, put the wire into my wire looping pliers, crimp, so that's just made half my loop for me, wrap it around. So I've got a complete loop right now. And the reason I like the wire looping pliers for this process in particular, because it's letting me hold the wire as I'm doing this. So it makes it a little bit easier than using round nose, although you could do it with round nose. All right, so now I'm just going to make some wrappings. I don't need a lot, just enough to secure it. So there we go. And now I'm going to trim my short tail and press in any rough edge. Now I'm going to call this the front, and I'm going to go put my wire through the hole, going from front to back. Now I want to leave about 1/8 of an inch, and I want to then push my little wrapped wire loop down, so you can see it's going now to hang below my tree. So now I'm going to take my wire, which is sticking out the back, and pull it around to the front. I'm going to loop it around my wrapped wire loop. Again, this is just securing that loop even more, and all the way back to the front. So now I'm just going to do nice, neat wraps, pressing the wire into the glass triangle as I go. So I'm pressing it into place, and that's what's going to help to hold it. Just going around and around. You can make these wraps as tight as you want or as loose as you want, but you do want to make sure that you are wrapping the triangle. You don't want to just say have 1 or 2 spirals. That's probably not going to give it enough stability. So I'm just going to keep going all the way to the top. That's what we've got so far. So now I need a way of attaching my earring hook. So I need to have a loop at the top as well. So I'm going to pull my wire up to the top, grab my wire looping pliers, and make another wrapped wire loop. Now I'm just going to trim it. And actually that looks pretty darn good. So here we've got, I'm just going to hold it up with this extra piece of wire so you can see so my fingers aren't distracting. And so you've got a loop at the top and you've got a loop at the base. So now you have something to hang your earring hook from, and you have something to hang a bead or a charm or whatever you want. One tip is, because you are doing a spiral effect going up, you wouldn't want to hang anything too heavy from this because you wouldn't want your spiral to pull out of place. But if you do something pretty lightweight, it is going to stay put. If you have an earring hook that doesn't have an open loop at the base, and an open loop is something like this here, where you can just open it and close it, you're going to want to slip it into this loop first, which is what I had here. So this had a closed loop. I slipped it into my loop before I finished my wire wrappings. So that's something to keep in mind, but a lot of times you'll just have something that has an open loop and you can then just open it and put it on there. If you're at all concerned that your wire is not strong enough to hold whatever object that you hang from the bottom, you always put a little GS hypo cement on the back side between your wire and the glass, and that will give it a little extra security too. But this is going to be pretty strong and stable as it is. So that's how to do one form of wrapping. That's your neat wrapping. I want to show you how to now do the messy wrapping. For this, you're going to use 26 gauge wire, and you're going to measure out about 15 inches. You're going to start it the same way. I'm going to make that wrapped wire loop at the base. Trim off the excess. It does not have a sharp edge, so I don't have to worry about that. And I'm using a thinner gauge wire because I want my wrappings to be really kind of loose and messy. And I found when I tried it with a thicker gauge wire, it just really didn't hold right. It kind of came away from the sides of the triangle too much. I didn't really like that look. So again, the same way I started before, where I just flattened it so it hangs below. So this is a good refresher if you want to do that neat wrapping. This is starting out the exact same way. Okay, so I'm now just pulling it from the back to the front, going around my loop, and now I'm coming back to the front side. Now I think this is pretty fun because what I'm going to do now is I am going to spiral it, but I'm not going to be quite as neat about it. I'm going to maybe even go down below and back up, so you can see I just crisscrossed in the back, and I'm pressing it down as I'm going to flatten it. Now when I get up to the top on this one, you'll see I still have a lot of my wire left. I'm going to now make a wrapped wire loop. Make my wrappings, but I am not going to trim off my tail. So at this point, I'm going to just now continue wrapping some more. And again, I'm not being too terribly neat about it because I do want it to be messy. And then when you get down to you have about an inch or an inch and a half left, you can even go like that. I'm going to then want to wrap it around. There we go. About an inch left. You could see what I just did there. I was like, oh, I wanted a few more wrappings, so I just put them there. So now I'm just going to wrap it around my base a couple times, trim it off, and then you'll see this start to come up a little bit, but that's okay because it's anchored on both sides. This thinner gauge wire is not quite as strong, and that's why we didn't do it for the neat wrappings where we want that loop to be solid up top. But because it's that thinner wire and we made the loop here, but we still did more wrappings, it does have a little spring to it, but it's going to hold tight. So it came away a little. I could scoot it down and press it into place more, and it will stay more where it needs to. And then if you are concerned at all and you're going to hang something heavy again, just maybe put a little bit of glue in the back side. But actually that's holding fine right now. So I do want to show you now how to finish this earring that you see here. I hope you're getting some ideas of what you can do with this technique besides my two examples, because there's really a lot of different things that you can do, that you can have fun with. I mean, you can even glitter these if you wanted to. So you can see I made a simple wire loop, trimming it, opening up that simple wire loop, attaching it, there we go. Now just the earring hook. And there we go. We have a pair kind of modern, abstract, yet very festive Christmas tree earrings using sea glass and some wire.